9/11 is directed by Martin G. This is a drama film based on the real-life terrorist attacks on the United States of America on September 11, 2001 that happened in the Twin Towers of the World Trade Center in New York City, New York, at the Pentagon in Washington, D.C., and in Shanksville, Pennsylvania. The movie is written by Martin G., Stephen James Golubowski, and Patrick James Carson. This film is based on the stage play entitled Elevator by Patrick James Carson. The film stars Charlie Sheen as Jeffrey Cage, Gina Gershon as Eve Cage, Whoopi Goldberg as Metzi, Luis Guzman as Eddie, Olga Fonda as Tina, and Wood Harris as Michael. The film is rated R for rough language and for people in peril. This film is not, and I repeat, this film is not a movie for young children. I would say probably 18 years of age and older. The film's runtime is 90 minutes. Just to give you a little bit about what I know before we get into this review, I had never heard of this movie or even realized it existed until just recently. I recently saw a trailer for this film on YouTube when I was watching a trailer for another film. At first, I thought it was going to be a new release, like something for 2019. I had no idea it was already out and that it came out back in 2017. So this film had a limited release in theaters. It was released in the United States in select theaters on September 8th, 2017. This movie did not come to theaters here in San Angelo. I don't know if it went to any of the other major cities in Texas, like Dallas, Fort Worth, Houston, San Antonio, El Paso. I know it didn't come to any of the smaller cities like Lubbock, San Angelo, Abilene. So when I found out about this movie and found out that it was already out and that it never came here, that was a real disappointment because it was a movie that I would have liked to have seen on the big screen. Because I saw United 93 and World Trade Center on the big screen. So yeah, kind of a bummer. So the synopsis of the film: a group of strangers get stranded in an elevator in the North Tower of the World Trade Center during the worst terrorist attack to ever take place on American soil. Jeffrey Cage works in the Twin Towers on 9/11. He arrives at the North Tower with his wife Eve to sign divorce papers and are in the elevator when American Airlines Flight 11 crashes into the building, stopping the elevator. Along with him is Eddie, a maintenance man who works maintenance in the Twin Towers of the World Trade Center, and Tina, a woman who has come to the Twin Towers to break up with her wealthy lover, and Michael, one of those delivery people who ride bikes in New York City to deliver things. They try to open the elevator doors to escape, but they're unable to do so, and they are stuck inside. Metzi is an elevator dispatcher for all the elevators inside both the North and South Towers and communicates with the people who are stuck inside the elevator. And she knows or works with Eddie, the maintenance man. She tells them that they only have one choice: to find a way to get out of the elevator in order to try to escape and survive. The last scene of the movie is up for speculation about the fate of one of our characters, but it's pretty clear what is happening at the very end by the tragic events that unfolded that day. The music and score for this film is composed and conducted by Jeffrey Toyne. And I've never heard of this guy, but he did a really good job, I thought. The music is powerful, suspenseful, heartfelt, and emotional. During the real suspenseful moments of the film, the score puts you in a state of time, like the ticking of the clock, knowing time is running out for our characters to escape to safety before the towers come down. This film is not the best 9/11 movie, but it has some really good actors and really good acting. It also has some beautiful shots of different locations around New York City. One of the best shots comes at the beginning of the film, before all the terrorism starts taking place. It's when the opening title card is about to come up showing the title of the film. The camera goes really slow past buildings in lower Manhattan, panning around to reveal the beautiful Twin Towers of the World Trade Center on the morning of 9/11 before the attack begins. The film shows the ordinary men and women of New York City starting their day, firefighters and police officers reporting to work for the day. After watching and researching this film, I was able to find out that the characters depicted in this film are not based on real life people. These are not real people that actually went through the events, but I think what they were trying to do is to try and get a sense of maybe what people who were stuck in elevators must have felt like and gone through, which one of them references the 1993 World Trade Center bombing, and he says to one of the characters, he's like, do you think this could be something like 1993? And the maintenance man looks at him, he's like, I thought about that. He's like, but I didn't want to say anything and scare everybody. And soon they get in touch with Metzi, who tells them that, yeah, we're under attack, and it's worse, way worse than 93. The film is not perfect, and it was plagued by the 9/11 truth movement that Charlie Sheen was a part of. So in 2006, Sheen called in to the far-right conspiracy theorist radio program, The Alex Jones Show, to voice his support to the then growing 9/11 truth movement. Sheen suggested that the Twin Towers had been destroyed due to a controlled demolition, which was then followed by a cover-up by the U.S. government. He went on to state, it seems to me like 19 amateurs with box cutters taking over 4 commercial airliners and hitting 75% of their targets. That feels like a conspiracy theory. In 2006, Sheen spoke at a 9/11 Truther convention in Los Angeles with Alex Jones, and later reaffirmed his beliefs about the conspiracy on Jimmy Kimmel Live. When Sheen was interviewed by The Hollywood Reporter in September 2017, he reaffirmed his belief in the 9/11 Truther movement, remarking, I was not just coming up with stuff about 9/11. I was parroting those a lot smarter and a lot more experienced than myself who had very similar questions. Not to put this behind us because, as brilliantly written, we must never forget, but there are still a couple of things just rooted in simple physics that beg some measure of inquiry. Saturday Night Live cast member Pete Davidson, who lost his father in the 9/11 attacks, condemned the film in an Instagram post citing Sheen's history with the Truther movement. Others also noted that it seemed to be a hypocritical move by director Martin Guigui to cast a vocal 9/11 truther in a film about the attacks. Co-star Gina Gershon claimed to not have known about Sheen's earlier conspiracy-related statements until after filming on 9/11 had wrapped. She remarked that she would have spoken to Sheen about those comments before committing to the project. So yeah, this film was plagued by some other factors other than just, maybe some bad shots or some plot holes in the story and stuff like that, but it was plagued by some real life stuff. I just figured that was worth mentioning in this review. So anyway, but all in all, this film is a really good depiction of things that went on during that day and how people who were stranded in elevators in the towers had to find a way to get out. I had always wondered what happened to people inside the towers who were on elevators, if they all got out or if a lot of them died. That's something. The information's probably out there somewhere. I haven't read about it or seen any documentaries about it or anything. This is the only thing I've seen about people stuck in elevators in the Twin Towers on 9/11. I will probably own this movie, just not right now. It's not one that I'm in a hurry to get in my collection, but I really, really enjoyed the film. For what this film is and was and what it's trying to accomplish, I thought they did a pretty good job. Let's talk about my grade for the film. My final grade for the film is an A-. And the reason for the A-, I usually don't tell you why I give the grade that I do, but for this film, I think it's really important. It's just for all the kind of behind the scenes 9/11 truther movement stuff that I found out about the film. So, but all in all, it's a really good looking film. To me, I felt it was a really heartfelt film. And I appreciate what they were going for in this film, regardless of the outside problems of this film. So is it worth a watch? Oh, definitely. So 9/11, starring Charlie Sheen, Gina Gershon, and Whoopi Goldberg, is worth checking out. So, before I end my review, if you all would please join me in a moment of silence as we remember all those lost on Tuesday, September 11th, 2001. So please join me in a moment of silence. Thank you so very much. Guys, thank you for watching. If you're new to the channel, go down and click the subscribe button. Be sure to like this video. Be sure to give me some great comments. And I usually say, God bless and I love you, which is true, I do. But in this video, I'm going to say, we will never forget September 11th, 2001. God bless the United States of America.